Welcome to Spit Casually with Al and T. This is T.
This is Al.
This is second episode.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Oh no.
I want to buy some death sticks.
I don't want to buy any death sticks.
Anyway, episode 2. If you listen to number 1, thank you so much. And if you're listening to episode 2, thank you so much.
Wait,
2 times the so.
Is that implying that the original people that were like, you know, hanging with us from the beginning aren't as cool as the newbies that haven't even...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying if you're coming back this week for some tasty voice tunes that are not musics, then we have what you got, what you want. We got it.
Are you sure?
Oh, no.
Are you sure? Okay, if anyone gets that reference to a Pulp song, what song is it? Oh, Common People.
With common people.
Yeah, because it's just
you.
like, oh God, what does she say? She says something. She's just like, oh, he's like, I don't see anyone else smiling around here. Are you sure? And it's so scary and funny, and no one gets it. Oh, it sounds so creepy through the microphone too.
I get it.
Okay, well, if anyone gets it, then you're part of the cultural elite. All right, we have topics. We said we'd talk about some stuff. First of all, some questions from the Facebook. We have a Facebook, actually, so you probably heard about it or like saw it through there. But if you went on it and we post a status saying you want to have us talk about anything, and we will talk about whatever. So Laura asked, what gets the smell of cat pee out of carpet? And the answer is cat shit. And who else? Oh, and then Torin asked something.
I didn't see it.
Oh, he asked, no, because you totally commented on it. He's like talking about all things.
Okay, this is the segment where I talk about Arrow. Arrow is a show on the CW about the comic book hero Green Arrow, who is one of my like top 5 favorite characters of all time. And like at first I was a little skeptical about the show because it's very CW-esque. It's kind of like
Smallville.
It's kind of like Gossip Girl. It's kind of like Smallville. It's kind of like the new Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
No one was fucking talking about Gossip Girl, Rachel Tice.
I love Gossip Girl. Anyway, interlude. Back into what I was saying. The CW is sweet, and at first I didn't like it at all, but I kept watching it because I was like, I gotta see where this is going because Green Arrow is my fave. And I've been watching it every week, and it's on tonight at 8 o'clock. And tonight is Wednesday, by the way.
Shit.
But yeah, what's happening?
I just remembered I had coffee.
Oh.
And so
yeah, there's mad coffee in the house right now. We're both drinking it black like motherfuckers.
That's lukewarm.
Anyway, so Torin asked me to talk about Felicity Smoak, who is my favorite character on Arrow. And
wait, do you want to remind me how it's spelled?
Smoak.
Yeah, fucking Torin, your bullshit with the Smoke.
Yeah, star correction, Torin, warrior. Anyway, so actually I'm going to tie this into something else. Some news, I started a comic book class this week. It's a free online course by, I think, Ball State University. And it's about gender through comic books, understanding, you know, gender like as like a word and like that it's not binary.
Okay, this is a point where I should mention that like anytime that anyone brings up anything about gender, I'm the first one to comment with gender isn't binary, whether or not it's like regardless to like whether or not it's relevant to the situation. I'll just be the first to scream gender isn't binary at like strangers.
It's true, I've been
because
there.
it's not binary.
But yeah, so I'm taking this course on gender, and also not only gender as a word and as a definition and that it's not binary, but also how gender roles kind of can be swapped through comic books. And there's a killer list. I actually read some of the books already. The syllabus is just a bunch of comic books that you should read for the class, and they're not mandatory, but when am I ever going to turn down reading comic books? But anyway, I read this post on Tumblr about Felicity Smoak being actually a really great female character, just like on anything, like just like, you know, on a TV show or in a comic book or in a comic book TV show, like she's just a good female character because she's not hyper sexed up. And there was actually she's usually in a ponytail and she's very nerdy. She's kind of like Oracle a little bit. She like hacks and like does a lot of like technology based computer, you know, manipulation and stuff. And she's not like sexed up, and she usually just wears like, you know, modest clothes and stuff. And there's this one episode where they go to this like fancy like gala ball party.
Gala apples. Gala.
Holla
Batgirl. Oh, you know what? It's not even. It doesn't matter. I. Never mind. I have a history with Holla Batgirl, but like, I guess I'll get to that next episode.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Felicity. They went to a party, and Felicity got all dressed up in this beautiful dress and these like beautiful, like lovely curls in her hair, and like she looks wonderful. And nobody actually commented on her thing and said like, "Oh, you look sexy, bitch," like whatever. And this person on Tumblr was saying how they thought that was absolutely like fantastic, that she isn't being portrayed as just like the normal female character, that she actually has a brain instead of just a bod. And like, there you go, Tora and Felicity Smoak and Al forever. Peace.
All right. And okay, so we have a little baby list of things to talk about. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yay.
Yay. Or yay.
Okay, so T, when was the first time you saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and how did it impact your life?
The first time I saw a Rocky Horror Picture Show was I was up in Maine with my family, and my dad used to he did this thing where he would he wouldn't torrent it, but he would torrent the movies. He would torrent movies or like rent them from Netflix, and then he'd rip them to his computer, and then he would make copies of them. So we have a bunch of copies of DVDs that just have like written in Sharpie what's on it. So he took out
everybody.
Yeah, literally. And so he took out like Rocky Horror, and he's like, "Yeah, I want you to watch this movie with me." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I think my sister and my mom might have been there, but I specifically remember my dad making me watch it. Like, we were watching it together, and he was telling me like all the call outs, and well, not all of them, but a good amount of the call outs, and like it's about the live show as we were watching it. And I just remember seeing like, what the fuck is this movie? And then like when Rocky came out, I was just like, what? Like there was a movie like that had like, you know, naked dudes and like random like guys and like, you know, fucking backwards corsets and shit, and then everyone's in a backward corset and boas, and like, wait, that's the ending? That is the ending. Okay, this movie's falling apart. Like that was yeah. And I was like kind of young when I saw it, and I didn't fully grasp it. I just grasped that it was such a cool, and of course like I was like a, you know, alternative like my chem kid, so like I was like anything alternative is awesome. So I watched it and I was like, oh my god, like this is a really cool movie. And I thought the ending sucked because like I didn't understand that the point of it is that like it falls apart, but like whatever. So I really liked it, and then I'd watched it a few more times, and I'd watch it like on Halloween, something like the last Halloween I do my best. I did my the Halloween where I stayed in. Did I talk about that? Yeah, damn
you
it.
did, yeah.
All my stories are being used up, but I had a relationship with that. And then I went with Al and Kat to see Rocky the first time when it was still at Cambridge. I went the first time, and I got the V and everything, you know, for being a Rocky virgin. And then they went up and they asked me to do the virgin ceremonies, but I think at the time I was 16, and they're like, yeah, no fucking way, nope, sit down, you are not.
Actually, when we started going to the Rocky Horror Show, we were so young, and we wouldn't go with parents, we'd go with friends, that we had to ask strangers on the streets to buy our tickets because we couldn't buy them ourselves.
Because a real adult, to buy a ticket for a minor, a real adult is 21.
Yeah, not 18, and to rent a car, a real adult is 25. So my first time seeing the Rocky Horror Picture Show was, my sister had this birthday. I can't remember what year it was, but like she had a birthday, and my mom was like, oh, like Sam's a little bit alternative and all of her friends are a little bit alternative. Like, let's go take them to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You saw it live first?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw the movie.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So we went to, you know, Harvard Square where it used to be, amazing theater, but yeah, so we went to the show, and my sister, and she brought her two friends and her boyfriend, and it was me, my sister's friends, my mom, my dad, and my mom and dad's really awesome friends, Sylvia and Mark, who are super cool. Shout out to Sylvia and Mark. I love you guys. You're awesome.
They're like, oh my god, they mentioned me.
Yeah, but so we went, and the whole time I was like wide-eyed and like laughing and like, you know, like throwing rice and shit and like standing up and like trying to do the time warp like for the first time, because like I mean, it's the first time I ever saw the movie, but I was trying to like do everything, and I was just like, this is amazing. And I look to my left, and I see my sister and all of her friends asleep on each other throughout the whole movie. And I was like, wow, they're fucking losers. But
come on, if you go to the Rocky live show, even if you don't like it,
even if you don't like it, people are at least naked.
Be disgusted enough to like at least stay awake and like condemn it. You know, why would you even fall asleep? That's
at least try to yell shit at people and be like, you suck, like you fucking asshole.
Because they probably would feed off that, or a good Rocky cast would feed off that.
And you know, it's a good Rocky cast. Full Body Cast.
Full Body Cast. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Full Body Cast for being my Rocky Horror Picture Show like shadow cast of like my whole life. So I've been going since I was like really young, like that first time, and then I took a break because like I didn't know it happened like all the time, and then like I found out that it happens every Saturday night in Boston. Now it's, if you live in Boston, now it's in Boston Common at the AMC Theater across the street from the
which at the point we must mention is literally the most inconvenient theater in the entire universe to get to.
Yeah,
Parking
I mean, like if you're gonna go,
expensive.
definitely carpool and split the cost of a parking garage, because like what we do is absolutely, I would not wish that upon anyone.
We go from our friend Laura's apartment, and
which is like, it's like a half-hour walk.
Yeah, but like we take the T there because like it starts at 12, so you can still get there by the T. So we get there, and it's usually fucking cold as shit. And we get there, and like we have a great time and whatever, and we're all super tired, and then we get out, and it's like 3 a.m., and we have to do a 3-hour walk. 3 hours.
No, it's like a 30-minute walk back to Laura's apartment. We're all cold and tired, and we never want to see each other again, and like it's awful. But like we finally make it home, and then like we're all like, yeah, that was cool. But like everybody else is like, I'm tired, and I'm like, I want to go back. But so anyway, yeah, like Full Body Cast has always been so fucking awesome, and like they throw like the best Rocky shows, like, and like all of the like people like shout out to Rachel Howell, because like I know that she is Columbia and we talk sometimes, and she's awesome. And also I don't know anybody else's name, to be completely honest, but like the Frank is like awesome. And I actually saw this other cast. I'm not gonna name them, but like I thought they were great. Actually, like I thought they were like fucking amazing. But like I can't like betray like my cast. So like if you like have a Rocky Shadow cast, like that's like you're not gonna like any other cast like very much, like because like you like that cast.
It feels like your own, like it feels like your tribe. So if like,
no, it totally
you see like
is.
another group and you're like, it's cool and I know it's the same thing, but like it's different. It's not my group.
Yeah, it's totally it's totally.
Which is funny
like
because
that.
like, I feel like the Full Body, I mean, like unless you talk to them and like really know them, like I feel like they're just like, oh, like, you know, some of our regulars, but like it's weird the one-sided devotion.
I know. Oh my god!
Have.
If you walk in there also like to see it, and there are like, you know, 30 other people, they'll all sit like, you know, middle of the theater, and it's like a big stadium seating theater now, like in the Boston Common Theater, and like me and my friends and like
Very
T,
front,
we
always.
will walk to the front and we'll slide in there and we'll be like,
and so like the back row always goes out to like the 80 people just sitting in the middle, like
we're
passive.
the only ones like in the front, and we're like, we throw our rice that hits no one, like
like our friend Laura is first of all, Laura, I feel weird saying my friend Laura, like one of my best friend, like human, like I love her so much.
Best
Laura
friend.
She yells such amazing things at the. She's like, I've seen people in the Full Body Cast like laugh and like stop doing their thing.
Oh my god!
Simply
Okay.
because like Laura yells something so ridiculous or like sexual that they're like, what?
Or just like super loud, because there's this one in the Time Warp, like Magenta's like doing her like little verse thing, and there's this one call out that just says like do you douche, and then she goes like, no, not at all, and Laura was just like, do you douche? And everyone was like, oh my god, and like the whole rest of the show we were just yelling that at like random parts, and everybody thought it was funny. At least I think they did, but I did.
You know, I like Rocky a lot.
Rocky is good.
It's great. And okay, favorite moment from Rocky Horror Picture Show as of right
like
now.
in the movie, or like
or actually, you know what? No, in the movie itself, because the live show changes.
Yeah, I got a good one. Okay, so
and also favorite pre-show bit.
Oh, okay. So I really dig the Eddie, like 5 minutes of Eddie. Literally, like boop, boop, boop. From like the moment the freezer opens to the moment he dies is maybe like 4 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, I love when like the Eddie scene, because like when I was younger, like I so like was like, oh dude, like I'm Eddie, like I got the leather jacket and like I'm like a like rockabilly like saxophone player, even though I'm like none of those. Well, I guess I'm some of those things, and I'm also a boy. No, yes, no, yes.
Gender
no,
isn't binary.
That's true.
There you go.
Callbacks, but yeah, I love Eddie, and like if I ever could please full body cast, like let me play Eddie. I'll audition like 2, 3, 7 times. Please let me play Eddie. I would love that. And my profile picture is me in my Eddie costume that I made for a party that I couldn't go to. But like, yeah, Eddie. Okay, T, your turn.
All right, my favorite part is actually it's a violin line. I'm gonna I'll see if I can put the clip in or not, but like it might be too lazy. But it's this one like little like ascending like do 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 do. I'll just play it, whatever. It's this like violin line in the middle of
I'm going
everywhere. And like what going? I'm coming home. I'm going home. The place where I belong. Yeah. I love Daughtry.
I love Nickelback.
Funny thing is, like, Nickelback is like so everyone hates them now. I remember the time when I was like the rebel for hating Nickelback.
Yeah, what is that? What is that song like? Got a drug dealer on speed dial, like Rockstar, like motherfucker. No, it's the Rockstar song.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Anyway, that song sucks. Nickelback sucks, and Daughtry also sucks. Okay, Rocky.
And so like it's just one violin line. It's like so heartbreaking and like beautiful and like nostalgic, and I love that violin line, and it breaks my heart when I listen to it. So hopefully I'm playing it right now, and that was it. I'm assuming that I just played it, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, actually, I used to not like "I'm Going Home" like the song, but like I think it adds like so much depth to the movie. Like, you know, like at the beginning when I was younger, I was like boobs, like bums, and like, you know, like
boa.
Yeah, like I don't know. "Rose Tint My World" is like my favorite like jam. I'm one day I hope to do a 1-person Rocky Horror Picture Show where I do all of it myself.
Honestly, it's probably not that far-fetched.
It's probably gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay.
Is it?
We should move on because we are already at like 18 minutes.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so me being I can't say my name on this. That makes everything ruined.
All right, well...
Okay, no, I'll say it. So me and my friends, or my friends actually, I guess if you can call them that, like to play this game called the Alex Fletcher drinking game.
All depends.
And all the things that are in the Alex Fletcher drinking game. Okay, here's the segment where I go, if you want to get shit-faced while watching while listening to our podcast, this is how you do it. Take a bunch of shots and put them on a table, listen to our podcast, and whenever I mention one of the following things, you will take a shot, and by the end, you will not know what I am saying. Number 1, T.
Number 1 would be anytime she refers to or mentions having worked at or anything about working at Dunkin' Donuts.
And, you know, I just got a job at Dunkin' Donuts.
There's a ding there.
Again. So there's going to be a lot of that, I bet. Number 2 is anytime I mention that the Salem witch trials did not actually take place in Salem, they took place in Salem Village, which is actually in Danvers, where I used to live.
And also, okay, so branching off of number 2.
No, I want to say that one.
Okay, what was the other one? Anytime she refers to her long history of playing hockey, like in hockey practice we got up at like 4 a.m.
I used to play hockey for 11 years. What is it? Take a shot!
Take a shot!
And Star! And the next one is branching off of number 2, but I wanted to say it real bad. Okay, so if any of you like Batman out there, you know of Arkham Asylum. Even if you played like the games like Arkham Asylum, the psychiatric hospital that all the villains go to and eventually break out of, was actually based on a place called Arkham Sanatorium or Sanitarium, in a story by H.P. Lovecraft. And he actually based Arkham Sanatorium, whatever, off of Danvers State Hospital, which is also a psychiatric institute where a lot of like crazy shit went on. It's also the basis of the movie Session 9. That is where I used to live. So I used to live in Arkham Asylum. Take a motherfucking shot.
Take a shot! It's so funny to me because it happens so often. Like,
yeah, I mean, it does. Ellie, the last one is the amount of times, or whenever I mentioned that I didn't know that I was graduating until I opened my diploma at graduation. You can also take a motherfucking shot.
And if you literally like want to listen to 5 minutes and just have alcohol poisoning, anytime we say like
or anytime you listen to Roxanne, every time they say Roxanne, take a sip of your drink.
Oh God.
Roxanne, put on a ring. Roxanne, put on a ring. Take a sip.
Sip. You just finish your sip and then
you can't even finish your sip. You just gotta go like.
All right, you just keep drinking the entire course.
Yeah, okay. Like those are the rules of the Alex Fletcher drinking game. If you need to be refreshed, we might write them down in a status. IDK. Okay, next thing is so if anybody has been paying any attention to Nicktoons,
which if you're listening to this and you're not paying attention to Nicktoons, like go home.
Yeah, or if you're home, go turn on Nicktoons. I don't know.
Ooh.
But yeah, so
that's good.
On Nicktoons, they are reincarnating the first season of the original Yu-Gi-Oh, which has always been a humongous part of my life, and like they're playing it and I am watching it every day, and there are always like at least 4 episodes on my DVR.
Okay, quick little thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! First came into my life when I was in 1st grade. It was a big thing when I was in 1st and 2nd grade, and during 2nd grade they banned it because kids were selling their Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards kids were using their lunch money to buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards off of the kids, so they banned it. And I was like, that is bullshit. I will not have that. So I literally went into, anytime I say literally, take a shot. I went into Microsoft Word and I made a petition, and I had 200 kid signatures. 200 signatures to bring Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards back into the school.
Did it work?
No, it's elementary school. Like, they give a shit.
True. Yeah, actually, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Came into my life, I was also in elementary school, and I did, my parents worked, like, a lot, like, so I went to morning care and afternoon care, after school and before school, and, like, the same kids would go to both, basically, and, we would play Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, we would also play Beyblade, but I don't want to talk about that, but yeah, we would play Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, they would, like, I was the only girl that played, because, like, I was a boy, but kind of, I don't know, yes, and like
gender isn't binary.
That's true.
Anytime I say gender isn't binary, take a shot.
Okay, that's enough. Anytime we say anything, just take a shot. But so anyway, yeah, all the boys would be like, oh my God, like, you're the best, like, you're so good at dueling, like, I hate you. And they'd be like, yeah, you're like, the best girl, but you're like the 2nd best duelist. And I'd be like, gender isn't binary, bitch. And then,
honestly, I wish you in like elementary school said gender isn't binary, bitch.
Some kids do, and like they're the cool ones. They have the GIFs on Tumblr of like all the little kids saying like really cool shit, and then the long paragraphs underneath that are like, little kids understand so much more than politicians and adults, which is totally true. Yeah. They don't know. I mean, they know shit more than everybody else in the world.
So recently, mostly because of the TV show, but also just because of common interest.
Yeah, it actually just like came back. Like the TV show just reminded us, but like actually a few months prior to this, we've been also doing this.
But we took out some old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and started building decks again. At first we were just using old cards and like kind of made some makeshift stuff and started like occasionally dueling. And now it's pretty much like daily. And we just had an amazing experience I'm not going to drop the name of it because
I'm going to drop the name of it because of this.
Okay.
I actually used to have a lot of qualms with this comic book store because of a lot of things. But like every time I go back, like, and I'm like, you messed up my shit. Like, they're like, oh, like, no problem. Like, we can fix that right up. Like, like, if you don't have, like, if we can't give you, like, money from returns, like, we can give you store credit, like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, for some reason, I always buy the same back issue twice. So I always come back and I'm like, yeah, I bought this back issue, like, twice. Can I trade it for another back issue? And they're always like, yeah, totally, dude. Like, whatever. So, like, Harrison's Comics, like, I've always loved that place. And I don't really want to go into a big stink about it. But, like, Today we just had the best experience at Harrison's Comics that anybody has ever had, ever.
Can I add this one? Okay, cool. So we walked in because we were going to we went in basically just to get our like the comics that came out for us, which are Bedlam and Resurrection. Resurrection? No,
Repossess.
I can never fucking remember.
And it's the final issue. I can't wait to read it.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize it's the final issue.
And you also have 3 that I haven't read yet.
Oh, you haven't read 3?
No. And
I'll into that. Whatever. So
actually, I think I did read that one.
You totally read 3.
And also, I got Legends of the Dark Knight. I think number 7, and also
one of the last Batgirls we're missing in the Steph Brown.
Oh yeah, we got Batgirl 11, and we're only missing one more.
We're collecting them together as a team because it's cheaper, and also because like we had like opposite ends, so we're gonna have the whole run.
Yep.
And just 8.
And also I got Detective Comics. I think 19, but like, that's kind of it's kind of another thing. I can get into that later, but like, it's kind of a book that I wish I hadn't started collecting from the front, but I can't stop collecting it because it's a book. So like, I buy them, but I don't really care about them that much, but like, whatever. Anywho, so
we walk in, we're just whatever, and then we go over to the Yu-Gi-Oh counter because Al had been playing with a Harpy Lady deck, which if you know, like the more Harpy Lady like cards and Harpy like
my
assorted
Valentine
cards,
represent.
She's fucking awesome. Of course, we're friends. If you watch the show, that's
dork. Obviously, we're friends. He's back. Anyway,
so we walk up to the counter. She's looking for specific cards, so we go through reams and
I go through literally, I think 4 full ass boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards looking for this Harpy Lady 2. Do not find it, but in the process,
we there's a bunch of people at the counter playing Magic, and then also looking at cards and shit. And the main guy there, what was his name? Should we not? Let's not name drop him just in case, like if for some reason he doesn't want to be on this. Whatever.
Okay, we're name dropping nobody.
His pseudonym, just so I can use him in conversation. His name will be
Harrison.
No, Leslie. His name will be Leslie. Okay, whatever. Leslie's pretty cool. So like he's talking to us whenever we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like old animes that we had known. And then slowly, like a few people come in and a few people come out, and then we have all of a sudden it escalates to us sitting on the ground in front of like the door. There's like 6 people or something just sitting down.
Yeah, there's 6 people
sitting down on the floor of Harrison's Comics, like talking about like shit that like we liked, and we're like introducing ourselves and like our current like fix and like.
I'm giving them all a name right now. Leslie, T, Al, Amy Lee, Link, and 5 Below. And those are our friends from Harrison's today. Hi, guys.
We might be seeing them Saturday. Hopefully they see this and go Saturday because I would love them to go.
Leslie was like, yeah, come back like on Saturday. We're like dueling for shit.
Leslie.
He's going to be like, why the fuck do I have like the Leslie? Like, why? But
he knows why.
But yeah, we're hopefully going back to duel everybody on Saturday. And we're so excited.
But like, I bought like 20 zombie cards for my zombie deck, and she bought like...
I did not find Harpy Lady 2, but to improve my deck, I already had a baby dragon, so I bought a Time Wizard. And I also bought the fusion card that is Thousand Dragon, which is the mix between Time Wizard and Baby Dragon, which is like, Joey Wheeler deck. And then I bought a cute card for like my girlfriend.
Aww.
Katarina. Hello. And she hasn't even listened to the first one because like we hang out like all night, so she doesn't have time.
Why would she listen to
me talk for
an hour? I feel like she would totally like clean the bathrooms listening to you on like an iPod.
Oh, I put it on her iPod.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I ship their relationship so much. I saw this thing on Tumblr that like it was like, yeah, like women who like sleep on like, in relationships, when women sleep on the left side of the bed, like they're less likely to have like depression and like, mental issues. And I was just like, wow, one of them is pretty fucked. Do you guys switch sides?
I always sleep on the right side.
Oh, you take the bullet.
I never knew that was a bullet.
You've been
One time we fell asleep like way back in the day on the wrong sides of the bed. And in the middle of the night, we woke up and we were like, fuck that. And we switched.
Oh, that's great. I love you guys. Story. So we met some awesome people, and it was like the comic book store experience that I'd always dreamt about, which is like this kind of community of like, people are into like, anime and like stuff, and like we can all talk about interesting stuff that no one at our respective jobs / schools care about. And, and it was awesome, and I hope it gets better, like, and better, because it was mad fun, and I plan to visit more often.
Yeah, it was clearly like the best time I've ever had at Harrison's, and like I got all this awesome junk for like real cheap, and like, you know, Harrison's Comics is actually a really awesome comic book store. Like, you can find like a ton of back issues. And I was talking to the manager, and he was like, yeah, we have like 30 boxes of back issues. Like, whatever. I wanted to have 100. Like, when we have more room, we'll like put 100.
I think Kat just pulled in.
Oh, Kat just pulled in.
If we want to, if this gets too weird, we can like cut it out. But like, whatever, you know, if she walks in, she walks in.
Yeah, if she walks in, she can actually be on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't have an extra mic set up, but like.
Hold on, let me go get her.
All right. Do you want me to start talking about the BioShock? Sure. All right. While she's fetching Katarina, Katarina, that's a weird thing. We usually call her Kat. I'm gonna talk about my current fix of like my thing right now is BioShock Infinite. Holy shit! I'm not gonna give away any spoilers because that ruins the game. But like, I've never played a more complete like jaw-dropping, like in just both the way that the AI works with the way that like the person that you're accompanying, usually accompanying missions are such a bitch, but like they always like die and get in the way, but she like is so intuitive and she knows where you got to go, and you don't have to worry about her getting damaged or anything, and she just helps and like is excellent. You can watch her, she just interacts with like the surroundings, and it's amazing. The detail in BioShock Infinite is amazing. BioShock 2, BioShock as well, like, you know, the original is amazing, but like BioShock Infinite is just amazing. And if you've ever played a video game, or even if you just like, you know, really good stories, you need what? Yeah, please, Caribou.
Caribou Black for tea?
Oh, she's grabbing me coffee. And I think Al coffee too, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it literally is one of the best things I've ever played. And if you literally like any sort of storytelling, you owe it to yourself to like get your hands on fucking BioShock 1 and or getting your hands on BioShock Infinite and getting blown away with the amazing, everything about it is perfect. All right, that about sums up my BioShock shit.
Yeah, I told him I'd play it for today, but I didn't have time because we were too busy hanging out and having fun times. But, so here's the part where we start talking about comic books and video games and movies, all things Batman.
Batman.
Okay.
It's gonna be about Batman.
Talking about.
All right, let's do. Do you want to do favorites, or do you want to do notable? Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be favorites, but do you want to just do some like highlights of certain certain things?
Let's actually go up the timeline.
Ooh.
And see
our personal timeline, or chronologically for like when
chronologically.
It came out?
I want to start with since like, you know.
Oh wait, one sec. Before we start this,
yeah.
I just want to give a shout out. Not that I'm sure like. If you're listening to this and you are all involved in like pro LGBT rights or anything, or if you even just like enjoy like listening to like interesting people have like intelligent conversation about things, our friend Cal, he has a podcast, I think, with other people too, or just
I'm not sure about that.
Well, they do have. I know that he has a podcast, if not as, you know, one of the main people in it. It's called Transwaves. Yeah, Transwaves.
Yeah, Transwaves. It's
called Transwaves, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it because I've been like so busy that I can't even get this podcast out. But like, I'm gonna make it a point to listen to it because I love Cal, and should I drop his name? But whatever. I just great opinions, and like I can't wait to hear like what they have to say about everything. So I just
repping podcasts on our podcast because we want to have podcast friends. Also, I believe in like all the things like that. Like I hear Cal talks about it. I also haven't had a chance to listen to it, but like I've also been really busy. Today was like my first week of work at Dunkin' Donuts.
Take a shot.
But yeah, so yeah, shout outs. Shout out to everybody we ever knew. And also everyone we don't know.
Okay. But now we're getting to Batman. So I just wanted to do that before I forgot.
Yeah, okay. So since me and T like weren't like really around when like Batman the TV show came out with Adam West, Burt Ward, you know.
Although I did watch that, and
of course we watched it because we're like Batman.
We're doing it when we saw stuff came out?
No. This is just like kind of like let me. Do
you want to start serials?
Let me spiel. Okay.
You know, you spiel first.
Yeah, let me spiel. Okay, so we weren't around really like to be like when we were like kids and when it was coming out, the Batman serials, which are these black and white, like ridiculous, like racist, like fucking.
Oh God, they're so racist.
Yeah, like we weren't around for the serials, but we both have seen them. When we weren't around for the TV show, but we saw it. And like when I was a kid, I wasn't that into the animated series. I don't want to get into TV really. I kind of want to stick with like the movie thing.
Cool.
But we're starting, I guess, with the 1989 first live action film that wasn't based on the TV show.
It's Burton, right?
Yeah. Tim Burton directed it. Danny Elfman, of course, did the music for it. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Vicky Vale, whoever that bitch is, she's beautiful. And
I've always my ultimate compliment to like if you are like female and you're dressed up and you like look like you're in the 80s, I always say like, oh, you look like Vicky Vale when she went to that like art when she like met the Joker at like the art gallery.
Yeah, as opposed to Vicky Vale from All-Star Batman and Robin, who has like thongs and bras and is sexy and has morals. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, so we're gonna start with the Tim Burton movies, the first two, and then we're gonna go to the, I don't know how to say his last name, Joel Schumacher. I'm gonna go with that. So we're going to go Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher, then we're going to go to the Chris Nolan movies. And then maybe we'll dabble a little bit when we talk about comics into the straight to video, the newer Batman movies that have been coming out because later in the conversation.
Okay.
So Tim Burton movie, the Tim Burton movies, I thought that they are, obviously like excellent. But I actually just went back and watched Batman 1989 a few weeks ago, and I love it. It's so good, but like nothing like in that 4 movie like series thing can like really compare to like Batman Returns, because like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman is so influential and iconic and like fantastic and like beautiful.
Really, I think I like the first movie better.
I mean, opinions, man.
No, I feel like Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Like I remember seeing that, and I was actually like, it was the first time, obviously I watched the Joker. The first time I was introduced to the Joker was animated series, but like, we're not talking about it. But like, the point is I was introduced to it through that, where he's kind of zany or whatever. And Jack Nicholson brought it to the point where like, oh, like this character is both, funny and, exciting and like very like titillating, but like, also, he's fucking like crazy. Like,
yeah, and he's also like
creepy.
really serious sometimes. Actually, my favorite part.
And next time, I'll be deadly serious. Next time, what? Whatever.
My favorite is when he like puts on like the pale makeup. Oh no! My favorite part of that movie is when they ban makeup from Gotham, when they're like, "Don't wear makeup, like Joker shit's in it," and you see the news people and they look like absolute shit. Yeah. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. They look like they're like all gross and like shitty because like they wear so much makeup to look good on like the cameras, because like they're such like raw cameras. That's my favorite bit of the whole movie. I don't know why. It's not even like a Batman thing. It's not even like like a thing. It's just like funny and like weird. It's like if you catch on to that, you're good.
My favorite part about that movie is when the Joker, like he's staring down like the bat wing or whatever, and he has a revolver in his like pants, and he goes to take it out and has a super long barrel, so he keeps drawing it forever and ever and ever, and it's just a super long fucking like pistol.
Actually, you know what? I do have a really big qualm with that movie, and that's like, like whenever I read like Batman comics, like, oh, he's taking off his shoes, gonna get smelly.
You had smelly feet last time.
I did. I had smelly feet.
Anyways.
But yeah, whenever I read the Batman comics, like not notice, but like every time I read them, the person that killed Bruce's parents is always a nameless, which makes it actually a lot scarier because he never knows who it is. They never brought him to justice. Like, which is also a big qualm that I have with the like Batman Begins. But the shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. But in Batman 89, the Joker actually, like Jack Napier, was actually the guy who killed his parents, and it makes it kind of like it takes the mystery away in a little bit.
It's like in a horror movie when you when you don't see the monster, what you imagine is far scarier, and giving it a name, giving it like a face is a lot more frightening, and it also takes away from the blatant symbolism of it. You know, the idea that like, oh, it's just, you know, it is crime itself, like took their parents as opposed to just, you know, this one dude.
Yeah, and that's actually the biggest thing.
Is that it kind of ruins the metaphor of it, you know, just by like being too specific sometimes can, you know. Yeah,
like the whole thing about Batman is that he'll never cease his like his travels, like his Batman like his persona. Exploits. Yeah, he'll never stop doing that until Gotham is free of the crimes that took his parents from him. Like,
but because there's nothing specific it's actually impossible.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of Batman, that Batman will never stop existing. Like, it's just like that's one of the hugest things about Batman, and I think a little bit with that movie, like, it's taken away, especially when like, I mean, I dig the whole, you know, when I'm a kid, my parents get killed, some guy says, "Hey kid, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And then, like, years and years later, he meets the Joker, and he's in his Batman persona. Neither of them know who each other is, and the Joker says, "You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And then he catches on, and he's like, "Wow, that guy killed my parents. Like, fuck that guy." And then he goes, and at the end, like, it's pretty badass when he goes, "You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Bam! Like, punches him right in the face, you know? Like, that's pretty awesome shit. But, like, I think it doesn't make up for the stuff that I don't like about it.
I think that for the movie, they felt it was necessary, and I understand.
I totally agree. Like, cinema and comic books are different because it's a different demographic. Like, I know a lot of comics fans went and saw the movie,
but they also made it for moviegoers in general.
Exactly.
You know, it's part of, like, the give and take that with
which is why Batman movies will never meet any fans' expectations, or any comic book movie ever. Like, okay, everybody loves the Avengers so much, but, like, I thought it was all right. I thought it was cinematically a beautiful and fantastic, like, piece of, like, genius art, but, like, also it's kind of like, this is how I always describe it to everybody, so you're going to hear me say it maybe a million times, but yeah, a loose storyline over here, like this stuff that you might have seen in the other movies, but you don't have to have seen them. Okay, that's the storyline, that's the main problem, but the real storyline, hidden underneath, not really hidden underneath at all, is, you know, 5 superhero friends trying to become friends, but they all clash because they're babies, and then they fight, and then they're friends, and then they become a team, and then they fight for an hour and a half in New York City, and you fall asleep. Or was that just me?
And, like, I think the thing is, it's a very vain movie in the... What?
Can I have one?
Yeah. It's a very vain movie in the way that you have to, it's basically just kind of a pageant of superheroes, you know? It's just like...
It's exactly that.
It feeds, you know, exactly what you want to see, and it's really not much more than that. But, you know, that's something to be said. You know, popcorn movies like Transformers, yeah, you don't know what the fuck's going on, but, you know, you watch...
It's beautiful.
You eat popcorn, you watch some, like, crazy shit happen on screen, and then you look at, like, Megan Fox. Like, that's the point of the movie. You know, it's like, sometimes a simple carnal pleasure... Carnal pleasures? It sounds wrong.
It sounds disgusting.
Carnal. Ugh.
Did you know the origin of the word fuck? Let me tell you. It's for unwanted carnal knowledge, which means literally fuck, like to fuck, sex fuck. You know, my friend Billy told me that. Shout out to Billy, you're cool.
Did you know that you had to, in a movie, you can say, in PG-13, you can say fuck. You can say one fuck, and it has to be PG-13, otherwise it's R. But you can't say, we fucked, or fuck, like, I want to fuck you. It has to be...
Fuck you.
Yeah, like, fuck you, or God damn it, like, what the fuck? Like, it can't be that.
I know, and, like... You want to use that powerful fuck, but you can't use it as a sex fuck.
I hate when they mutter it. I saw some movie and they were just like, oh, fuck. And, like, I was so pissed. I want to, like, when I see a PG-13 movie, I'm waiting for it. And I want to see, like, a big, like, fuck! Actually,
my favorite fuck in a PG-13 movie is hardly even a fuck. It's actually in Sucker Punch. The scene where they're fighting, and this is one of the imagination scenes, but where the team is fighting... like the Lord of the Rings-esque, like, dragons and, like, orcs and stuff, and Blondie is in the plane, and she's shooting her machine gun, and she goes, like, take that, you ugly mother! And, like, mouths, like, fucker, and I think that's actually very creative. Because they could have put another fuck in there, but they didn't.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that is cool.
And a lot of people say that Sucker Punch could have been really, really great, like, a lot better if it was rated R, but, like, I like could fall asleep to Sucker Punch. Like literally, I'm the biggest Sucker Punch fan in the whole world.
Sucker Punch got such horrible reviews. I saw that.
Fucking know.
I saw the midnight release of that with my dad, and me and him saw it, and we were like, that was one of the most entertaining and like good movies. Like it's meant for everyone. Like it's got literally a scene from every genre in the world. It's got like a cool story tying it all together. You know, it's got like hot bitches, like intrigue, like thievery, like violence, mechs, steampunk, Nazis, anything you could like in like fandom is there, and people shot it the fuck down. Like critics hated
honestly, you know, it also had Emily Browning, which makes any movie a 10-star for me.
Not to mention the best fucking soundtrack. If you're ever somewhere and it's raining, listen to the Sucker Punch soundtrack.
I'm nodding my head so hard right now.
And you will get transported to this like other world of magic.
This cool thing about Zack Snyder, who's the director, he also directed 300 and Watchmen, is that he believes in the power of imagery, I mean music used in imagery, like sort of like music videos, but like in cinematic, like big time, like big budget, like sci-fi kind of movies. Like, I don't want to go into talking about it too much, but
we're talking about Batman.
Shit.
All right, let's just want to move on to
real quick. Sucker Punch, fantastic. Zack Snyder's a genius, and like, and the soundtrack thing, that's such a big thing for me. Like, when I watch a movie and I like the soundtrack, I want to listen to it all the time, and I can listen to the Sucker Punch soundtrack without stopping.
All right,
Batman.
Let's just move on to next one.
Yeah, let's move on to let's just real quick wrap up the movie thing, because it's actually taking a lot longer than I imagined.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to just do movies in this one? We'll talk about other stuff later, because we're already at like 45.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's wrap up. Let's just finish movies, and then we'll do the band.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Awkward pause here while I catch my breath.
Wait, the next movie we just did Tim Burton's 2.
Yeah, we just did Tim Burton's 2. We didn't get really into Batman Returns, but it's like a really amazing movie. You know, we're never going to end up being able to talk about anything because we talk too much about everything else.
Yes.
But when we intend to talk about something, we talk about, shiny, you know?
Yeah.
So Batman Returns. Love that fucking film. Love the mood. Love when Catwoman goes home and is crazy after she gets cat resurrected. And she goes like, she smashes her neon light that says hello there and it says hell here, like through her window. And you're just like, who thought that was a good idea?
Because they're a good person. I like them.
Yeah. Also, every line of dialogue, like, done by Catwoman is like so great. Like, saved by kitty litter. Like, that's my fave. And, okay, there's something seriously wrong with the person who wrote Danny DeVito's Penguin.
Oh no.
Like, he's the right size, he looks right, but there's something weird about him. I mean, versus the comic books where like Oswald Cobblepot is a very, very intelligent, like extremely sophisticated man. He's a businessman, underground businesses. He opens the Iceberg Lounge, which is like basically a place where like high payers and villains can go to mingle without trouble, I guess. But like, he's a very intelligent guy.
It's kind of like the Lair and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where like all the teens are like hanging out and like smoking cigarettes and like skateboarding
and listening to punk rock
and playing video games. I remember watching that.
Exactly,
I specifically remember that because like this guy, like he's like about to drop in on like this half pipe and he goes like, yeah, like you want cigarettes? And he's like, yeah, man. And he gives him a carton of cigarettes like without any money, and he's like, you want like regular or menthol? And he's like, menthol, and then like drops in. And I'm like, Jesus. I think he says like regular or mint or something. That's how I remember it. But then again, like I was actually 2 years old when I watched that movie like 8 times a day.
I actually have that on VHS. And
we should
awesome.
watch that.
We should
do it. We're dueling after this. Literally, we're gonna finish this and fucking duel.
Bam. Duel.
That bass line.
Boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom, boom,
there's this amazing dirty bass line. Dirty bass line that I'm gonna try to put in, but
Bonnie Stinson. That guy's awesome.
All right.
Yeah. So Danny DeVito comes down from his like creepy lair upstairs, and Mr. Shrek or whatever, Christopher Walken is like, yo, like, you know, the penguin, like, you gotta come down. I mean, like, Oswald Cobblepot, you gotta come down and you're gonna be the mayor. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, but I got this fish for you. And he's like, well, all right. And you just see him walking down the stairs with this nasty, like, fish guts hanging out of his mouth. There's, like, black shit coming all down his face. And then, like, this girl goes up to him and she's like, you know, like, Mr. Cobblepot, like, you're the best role model, like, a teen could have, or like a girl could have. And he's like, well, you're the best thing, like, a role model could have. And then he, like, he's like, here, have a pin. And he's like squeezing her boob, like trying to put the pin in there. And she's just like, and then he's like, and then he goes down and he's in this like prepping party for him to become mayor. And this like beauty team goes up to him and he's like, and they're like, Mr. Cobblepot, like, you know, like, yay, like we get to make you up. Like you look disgusting, like in happy ways. And he's like, that's funny. Like, at least, like, you know, I don't have, like, blood shooting out of my nose. And they're like, ha, like, I don't get it. And he bites, like, the guy's nose and, like, blood is shooting out of it. And, like, somebody was fucking messed up when they wrote that.
Danny DeVito. Danny fucking DeVito. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just taking a moment. I'm just literally thinking about Danny DeVito.
And, okay, now let's move on to Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay.
The long-awaited talk.
Batman and Robin. Okay.
Batman Forever comes first.
Oh, does it? I didn't even, wait, Batman Forever, which one's that? Oh,
that one's the one with Two-Face and the Riddler.
I honestly, like, watched that one, like, maybe 3 times. I don't have a lot to say about it.
I used to be, like, really into that movie because
Jim Carrey as the Riddler was actually really cool. I liked that.
It was cool, but it was a little too crazy. Like, what I want from the Riddler is, like, and this is why movies will never, like, make the comic books, like, you know, like, equal the comic books to me, is that, like, a lot of the characters, that are in the comic books are like serious and like really smart and like really like cool and like cunning and shit, but like in the movies they're just crazy because like cinematically they have to be.
They can't like give
like
away
the Riddler is like really fucking crazy. Actually, even in the Arkham games they cover him like well, but that'll come later. But yeah, like Jim Carrey's the Riddler was like cool, but like a little bit too crazy for me. Like, I don't know.
We're not going to be able to talk about Nolan.
Yeah, we'll talk about Nolan next time. We'll continue this exact talk next time.
Yeah, okay.
Next time we'll go into Nolan movies, and then the video games.
And then a bunch of other
These
stuff.
are all things versus the comic books.
All right, and then do you want to just go into?
I had this comic book adaptation of like a graphic novel adaptation of Batman Forever, and that's why I loved it so much as a kid. So I've seen it a zillion times, but it's actually a really shitty movie. And
Vin Diesel is weird as Batman.
Val Kilmer.
Vin Diesel. Oh my god. Whoops.
Yeah, Val Kilmer. And also the Robin costume. Like that's also a big ass qualm I have with movies is that they always make Robin like too old because like they can't like physically like legally get away with having it be a 12-year-old boy
without it being weird.
Everybody's obsessed with like Robin and like Batman and Robin being like a gay couple, like perverted, like he's 12, like you're like 26.
Oh wait,
like,
what oh, and then George Clooney actually in the next movie actually played Batman.
Did you read my project?
Yeah.
Fucking badass.
Oh, that was so cute. The Batman, the next Batman movie, Batman and Robin, George Clooney actually played. You say because you actually know it. Like,
yeah. Okay. So George Clooney, I did this Batman project for my senior project, and like my English teacher basically let me get away with whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and she was like, "If you do the senior project, thank you. Like, just do it on whatever you want." 3 things that the public doesn't know about Batman. One of the things was covering Batman being gay, and like I'm cool with that, but like honestly through reading the comic books like a lot, I never portray him as gay, like in my brain. Like he's never gay to me. But like reading all these things, like I can see, I definitely see why people think that. But one of the things was a quote from George Clooney that was like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what you think, but in Batman and Robin, I played Batman gay. I mean, come on, like, look at these plastic nipples in my costume.
Well, was that really his choice?
It was not his choice, probably, but
you know what?
But he worked it.
Yeah, the thing was, and then he like it was never.
Except I hate him as Batman, by the way.
Yeah, and the thing, yeah, well, that movie, it's a train
wreck.
card.
Bat credit card.
Mother Nature.
Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna talk about Poison Ivy.
Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy is fantastic.
Actually, she is the best Batman villain in the what? That's Katarina entering. Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Oh, you're so cute.
Like a little tray. Bab came home Katarina came home from work and made me and Taylor tea thing, coffee. And now we get to have some coffee.
What, the caribou?
Yeah.
Really? I think it's it's a good like light roast.
Yeah, we'll just cut this part out because
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Bab has a beer. Underage drinking.
Oh no, I didn't bring a bottle opener. We'll figure it.
Okay, so we're talking about
Oh, maybe.
So, Batman and Robin, it's horrible, but Uma Thurman plays the most over-the-top, like, stupidly sexual, like, Poison Ivy ever. It's like,
and it's actually fantastic.
I've got some wild oats to sow.
On the other hand, pheromone dust. Youth does have its advantages, and my
Stamina.
garden needs tending. What? It is perfect. Actually, me and T watched that like not too long ago, and we were just like, "This is perfect." It's actually kind of like watching that movie is watching like Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe.
Yeah,
when Poison Ivy and Bane like go into their lair before they
gangs.
redo it. There's like gangs with like neon costumes and like black lights,
neon chains, and
and they're like,
"What's going on, my pretty?"
Yeah, like really weird like 90s. The director definitely watched a zillion like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movies.
That's how comics happen. So he's like, "Yes, I'll direct it like that." That makes sense.
I do like a little bit that they do it dark but very colorful because I think that's very comic book. Like the mood is good, but the movies aren't good.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger as
Mr. Freeze
is
like
obviously
everything
horrible,
everything he says is like a stupid pun. Like how many ice puns can you really make? Like
apparently a lot because that entire movie is an ice pun.
He literally speaks in ice puns.
The same one too. Yeah,
same one over and over. Time to unfreeze my wife. Defrost. It's time to defrost my wife.
Wonderful. Kat, I'm gonna bring you on as a guest. I'm going to.
I'm already.
I know, but like as an official guest because like I love Kat. She's my favorite. Okay. Is her response.
Sorry, I was remembering earlier that like when like I tried to like flirt with you and like I was like 13 and you were like 11 and we were coming home from like a football game and Mama was driving and I was like, oh shit, like I'm trying to rest my head over here on this window, but like it's so uncomfortable and you were like, oh, I have an idea, like here. You like moved and you were sitting in the middle seat and you're like, use my shoulder, and I was like, oh, like of course. And then I was like leaning on your shoulder and like it wasn't comfortable at all, but I was like, I'm leaning on his shoulder.
So this is like
there's this weird sexual tension.
Not at all, actually. The funny thing is that like me and Kat, we were friends. Well, we were friends for a while, and then like we didn't really talk that much, and then we were like friends again. But like the point when we were friends at first, like we both had weird crushes on each other, but at different times. Like overlapped a little bit, but we both had crushes on each other at different times. But we never dated, and now we decided we never ever will for like never. But we're like, it's great because
we're friends kind of now.
Yeah, like we talk occasionally when we have to. But the thing is that it's nice that like, you know, having a no date pact, because there's never that like weird like, oh, like what? Like we're going to like a show together, like no one else. Like, do you want to carpool? Like what? Touch my boob? And that's me asking her to touch my boob. And like that never like is a problem. And it's very
Gender
refreshing.
isn't binary, dude.
Gender is not fucking binary.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. Let's wrap it up. All
right, we are fucking bad.
This went like over an hour.
Cool. Well, there's like probably 15 minutes of like.
We did the intro. There's no.
There was
intro
downtime.
Music. There was a little bit. I'll cut some of it out. But
yeah, if it's an hour long, you guys will still listen to it. You fucks. If you turn it off, I'll kill you with my bat credit card and my pheromones and shit.
The expiration date literally says forever.
Real quick, the coolest thing about Poison Ivy is that her pheromones are not supposed to work on women, but I'm intrigued by Poison Ivy, and I'm a woman.
Gender isn't binary.
Damn straight.
Take a shot. All right. We end our shows with all of our like friends and like buddies that are in bands and bands we see that we like, and we thought we should give them a shout out. So, Al, would you like to do this week's band because I did last week's, and because you have a special attachment to this band?
I do. So this week's band is a band from Connecticut. They're a hardcore punk band, which is like one of my favorite genres, and also like. My friend's friend was really into this band, and I was like, I'm sort of like, getting into like punk, like what should, like, I should listen to that band. So I looked them up and I fucking loved them. And then, I made, Kat take me to Connecticut to see them, and then she loved them. And like, we went to like a few shows in Connecticut, and then we asked them to actually play at our house. The band is called Cry Havoc, and they are super fucking awesome. And we actually just saw them on Saturday again, and they're always so cool, and they want to do like so many shows at our house, and like they're fucking awesome. And they're the nicest dudes ever, by the way. And yeah, they're amazing. I can't really say much more than you just said, but they're great. Sorry. But yeah, so this is the end of our show. We're gonna play you a song. Thank you guys for listening. If you didn't listen, then I listened twice. Ooh, well done. Then you should have paid twice. Tie it in from the beginning. Yeah, check that out. All right. Tie-ins. So, this is Cry Havoc with College Means Combat. Thanks for listening, y'all. Thank you, guys. Like you got a pair. If you ladies leave my island, if you survive recruit training, you will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are cute. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human something to be. We live in a society where the low and middle class joining more college by way of military service. This keeps the foreign war and the wicked control. Going means combat, 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 going means combat. I'm gonna walk down that stinking aisle, I'm gonna open this faggot bathrobe and wiggle my dick at him. Because I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.